Welcome back to Gamers Talk Games. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we dive into the Ork Trukk Kit. Hey, Random, do you want to talk about those trucks we just built?
Sure, we can talk about them. How much do they cost?
They cost about $60 retail.
$60 retail. And do you think they're a good value?
They are almost $1 per point. So, I mean, for as utility as they are in the game, like they're very good. Um, but that's still a kind of a steep price for a 70 point model.
Yeah, the points per dollar on them is pretty bad. You spend a lot of money to not get a whole lot of points in your army, but I do think they make up for it in the utility. And they are a decent size model too, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
like you're paying $60 for like a single infantry guy.
Right.
Like it's a pretty big model.
It is.
There's a lot of plastic in the box.
Too much.
Too much, maybe. Yeah. How's the availability on this?
It is pretty much always in stock.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's if you can't get it direct from Games Workshop, I don't think I've ever seen it go out of stock. But if you can't, some online retailer has these things in stock.
right.
They're like everywhere. They're super readily available. If you go to your local game store, a lot of times they have them in stock, or
Yep.
they can for sure order them
Mm-hmm.
because they just really don't ever seem to go out of stock very much at all.
Right, 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 right. How did you feel about the kit?
I am not a big fan of this kit. I have built a lot of Games Workshop models,
Uh-huh. You have.
but I had never built a truck until I put the two that I built before these. I'd never put the new Ork truck together. Back when I was playing Orks, it was the little, 6 or 10 piece, whatever it was, truck from Gorka Morka that was like the size of a deck of playing cards, like tiny little model, super easy to build. This kit is it's kind of hard to build.
It is. It's so hard to build.
And I feel like it maybe wouldn't be hard to build if the instructions were better.
Probably. There are definitely some parts where, as I'm thinking back on this kit, it would have been easier to do that step before some of the other steps.
Yeah, I think it's like they're out of order, or it's like they were afraid to design the instructions in such a way that you sub-assemble a bunch of the pieces and then put it together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I found it really challenging to build. I don't know how much of that is the kit itself versus how much of that is the instructions. But I will say there is one big downside to this kit, and that is I feel like it is very easy to have like one piece get out of misalignment or like not be positioned exactly correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that can then cause the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. And so it's like this stacking tolerance of like one thing is slightly out of place and it can lead to the whole model not really fitting together very well.
Yeah, yeah. After building it, my advice is to just buy it used or kit bash it.
Kit bash it, yep. How do you think it looks?
I mean, it does look proper orky in that it is kind of a mess to look at. It looks like if noise was a visual.
Yeah, I can see that. It definitely looks orky. I don't think it's like an ugly kit.
No, it's not ugly. It's just there's so much to it that it's hard to pick out details.
Yeah, it's a really busy looking kit. There's a ton of detail, and weirdly, I don't think you can point to like any single detail in this model and be like, "Oh, well, that's really cool though." It's just a bunch of random little bits of armor and plating and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it looks really orky, but it's a really busy looking model. Like it's like it almost makes me feel like claustrophobic looking at it.
Yeah.
Um, how do you think it plays?
So anytime that I've played it, I'm not very good at playing them. Um, they've gotten blown up, but I will say, even if they do get destroyed pretty early on, like mine do, it does tend to protect your units inside of the truck. So, I mean, better to have your truck get destroyed than your units that you're using to like shoot things with or trap things with.
Yeah, all transports in the game do a good job of protecting the guys inside. That's a critical gameplay factor in 10th edition. I think the Ork Truck, actually has a little bit more utility beyond that, beyond just protecting the guys inside. It has a really high firing deck number. It's firing deck 11. So a lot of the times, almost every model inside of it can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can kind of take them and turn them into these like these little shooting platforms that can kind of drive around the board. And as long as you don't need to use the special rules of the guys inside, you can just have them shoot from inside the truck.
You effectively have a little tank.
Yeah, yeah. You create like a little baby Lehman Russ or whatever. Um, and then I also do think, because this is going to sound a little bit weird, but because the gun itself, like the big shooter that is mounted to the truck, because it kind of sucks. It makes it a really nice utility piece because it's really fast. You can have like melee or shooting guys jump out of it, do what they need to do, and then the truck can just kind of zip around and do all of those, like take a position and do an action type secondary missions for you. And I feel like that is a really good use for the truck. And it's part of why you see them in competitive lists so frequently.
So overall, what do you think of it?
So overall, I think you need some number of these for orcs, right? You in casual play, you probably want a minimum of two,
Mm-hmm. Which is what we both have.
and in competitive play, like there are competitive lists that run six of these things.
Wolf.
Um, so I think they're a kit that you really need to play orcs effectively, either casually or competitively.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's kind of a bummer that a kit that's so needed to play a faction, that I feel like is a big draw for like new players,
Mm-hmm.
and has so many other easy models to build. Right, orc boys are easy to build.
Oh yeah.
Like the war bosses,
Easy
both
to build.
are easy to build. Right. I feel like in an army like that, where there's a lot of easy kits, having something that you really need to play the game effectively be this much of a cluster to build
Mm-hmm.
is not great. I feel like it's kind of a pain point.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody entering the hobby as a new player, I think that this is like a detractor, not a promoter.
Right. I feel the same way. Like I said before, either buy it pre-built or kit bash it.
Yeah, if you're playing in an environment that's really friendly to kit bashed models, I think you'd almost be better off just buying like rhinos or chimeras and just converting them. Just slap some orky bits on there and call
Call
it
it
a
a day.
day. Yeah, because this kit's kind of a tough one to build. But I do think overall they're so useful that you want them,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you can find them used or you can kit bash them, I think that's the way to go.
I think you're right.
I've been Random.
And I've been Sharky. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out some of our other videos.